Hello. Took a little bit to go live with Wi-Fi, but I'm glad I'm here. Yay! So excited. I'll wait a couple minutes for people to hop on. If you guys want to say hi in the chat, where you're from, where you're tuning into, or in from, I should say. Okay. Welcome, welcome. So today we are going to be going over how spiritual health, what it is, and how that can actually improve and enhance your health and well-being. Because when I tapped into this and learned about this, because again, this was something that I didn't even think about. You don't know what you don't know. And once I started to learn about energetics, spirituality, and how you can utilize that to improve your health and well-being, absolute game changer. So, where to begin? Um, I always start with my story just because for those of you who are new, who are, just finding me, hello, welcome to my page. If you really like this information, all about holistic health, energetics, and spirituality, go ahead, subscribe, and like. This really helps the channel. Um, and so my story, I'm a two-time cancer survivor at a very young age. I had a near death experience, and throughout the process of improving my health and well-being, I was in a family who put, health and wellness as number one. Like that was the forefront, that was the foundation. And, it took me that journey because we choose our parents when we come into this lifetime. That was what I needed to set me up for success for what I do today. And so, spirituality, I actually had this, I guess you could say, debate with my husband last night about the difference between religion and spirituality. And religion is made by the people for the people. Spirituality is our spirit, it's our innate wisdom and belief of something greater than us on, this earth. And religion is the foundation of religion is spirituality, and that's the belief in something greater, whatever you believe in. I believe in God, I'm going to use God, but you can, obviously change the verbiage. And I've also been seeing this a lot lately too, of this, like, with a lot of my clients and part of the community of holistic human performance, about this questioning of, like, what is religion, what are my belief systems, a lot of, like, God fearing, and, like, that's not the way that it's supposed to be. Just, doing healings and tapping into my own mediumship abilities, and the way that my life has unfolded, like, I don't fear God. I've gone through a lot of life, right? I've had a near death experience. I've gotten sick to the point where I just, you know, it was hard the only thing that I needed to do and wanted to do was get my health back. And it came to a point where when I was 20 and diagnosed with thyroid cancer, which, they'll tell you is like least offensive type of cancer, which, okay, whatever, that's fine. However, um, as I was going through this, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I exercise, I'm an athlete, I eat pretty well. What's the missing piece here? Because then live in fear, and you're like, I'm doing all the things, but I don't understand. I had to peel back the layers. And what I found was the energetic root and emotional root causes to disease and all meanings of life, because everything is energy. And what I found was these core, and what I've built holistic human performance off of, my core philosophy and teachings, is based off of the 5 buckets of mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and energetic. And when I started to look at, okay, we have people who are doing the foundations, the basics of health, but yet they're still suffering, they're still dealing with chronic illness and all these other issues in their lives. what's the missing piece? And the missing piece is spiritual health. And that is what in turn enhances your mental, emotional, and physical body. And everything starts at an energetic component. So those thoughts that you have, that's an energetic vibration that comes into your mind as a thought. It creates this physiological concoction, which is an emotion. And then from there, you have a physical reaction or respondent to that emotion, AKA a behavior, and how you show up in the world. And so if we're constantly living in fear and this chronic state of stress and trauma, it's gonna pose an issue down the road. And so what's the one thing that helps you to keep moving and helps you to keep going? Faith, a belief in something better, that there's something that can get you from point A to point B, and without you freaking out. Like, if we lean in, are you going to lean into faith, or are you going to lean into fear? And the basis of faith is spirituality, right? That innate spirit, that innate wisdom within each of us, knowing that there's a bigger plan. If you're an atheist, I mean, that's, fine. If you don't believe in anything, okay, that's fine. I would take a look at, where did that belief system come from? Where, and then take a look at your life. Like, where are you at? Are you happy with where you're at? How's your health, right? So start to lean into your belief systems and unwire. And this is what I do with my clients, students, and communities, and in my teachings. Let's unwire those belief systems and really like question, like, where did those come from? And this comes back to what I was saying in the beginning of my clients as of late, this belief of like this God fearing. And where does that stem from? Religion. And, I'm not saying religion's bad. I'm just saying it depends on what the belief system is. If they're instilling fear in you, I don't believe that that's doing you any good, because now that has control over you. And when somebody has control over you, that's taking your power away. You're disempowered and you're not on your soul's mission and purpose. So, spiritual health, in turn, when you take a look at that, that is a big missing piece to the puzzle of, again, if you are at a spot in life where you're like, I don't know what to do, I'm doing all the right things. Let's take a look at the energy behind it. So a good example would be, let's just say you're trying to lose weight. You've tried everything, all the diets, all the trends. You work out like a maniac. You are eating well, whatever that means for you. You're sleeping. Let's take a look at the energy behind why you're doing what you're doing. Are you doing it to get skinny? Are you doing it because you don't feel good enough? Are you doing it because you grew up with a mother who was on all of these yo-yo trendy diets, never was always struggling with her weight? You saw that, she dragged you with you, and that in turn had an imposing factor on the way that you viewed yourself and you not being worthy enough, and you attach worthiness to being skinny. Like, so that's an energetic meaning. Like, what's that driving force underneath your actions? That is what we need to take a look at. And that is how you change your life. And spiritual health is that overarching bucket, because again, it's connected to energy, just like everything. And what are those belief systems stemming from? And those pose a huge, I don't want to say issue, but it can pose a problem on your energy field, on your aura, your energy points in the body, your channels, your meridians. That belief system is running the show. And we have to question those things of like, where did this come from? Like, is this even serving me? And also, a lot of the times, the behaviors and the way that we show up in the world are based off of those belief systems, where it comes down to not loving ourselves, self-loathing, beating ourselves up. Like, what is the why behind that? Where did that come from? Now, we could get into the mystical side of things where past lives play a huge role. And again, when I've taken people through past life meditations, I've seen and, spoken to clients after about what they saw. And it's very interesting how it plays a role on their life today. Like irrational fears that they have no idea where they came from. Um, and then another one is like ancestral trauma cycles, generational stuff. That plays a huge role. And then what we have in this lifetime. So those those all play a role in our physical health. And I know that it seems like a lot, but again, this is actually just part of the inner work. And what is inner work? We go internally, which a lot of people like don't like to do. It's aka shadow work, inner child work, and we're going internal. We're seeing what our inner world looks like because that is what plays a role in our external world. Law of attraction, law of polarity, the universal laws. When you can understand this, and I go deep into the universal laws inside of the Metaphysics Your Health course, I'll put that in the description box. And that literally can help you recreate your life and understand these laws of the universe and why they play such a huge role if you're in fact in a spot in life where you're just not happy, you're not where you want to be, you're just like this is not working for me. Okay, cool, let's take a different route. Let's, it can't hurt you to be honest. Is healing uncomfortable? 100%. Is healing sometimes really, I guess, painful? Yeah. Like it's not, sometimes it's not pleasant. And but you know what? That you choose your heart, right? Like are you going to continue living this way where you're miserable and unhappy and living in your own hell, or are you going to get it together and you're going to do the inner work and then rip off the band-aid and see a whole new way of life? Your choice. And so I chose the latter. I chose to do that inner work. I chose to work on those fears, the stress that my body was holding on to, the trauma. And man, did it open up a whole new world for me because what that did was put me on a path that I did not think that I was going to be on in terms of doing what I do for a living here on this earth, and it adds so much value to other people, and I've seen it completely positively impact and change and save other people's lives. I've literally gotten comments from clients, students, and community members that this work has saved their lives. And I'm just like, whoa, like, I mean, like, we need to share this with other people. And so, part of the inner work, yes, it's uncomfortable. Rip off that band-aid. Sometimes it takes 15 minutes. Sometimes, like you go in there and you get out. Like the goal is to get in there and get out. And sometimes you do not need to know the why. You do not need to know where this came from, why it's coming up. Sometimes you just don't. You just are acknowledging it, you're honoring it. Okay. I'll share an example. One of my friends and colleagues recently passed away from cancer. And my journey, I'm a two-time cancer survivor. And so she also was all about generational health and really walked the walk. She had, and it's still around. She has a youth wellness center, and it teaches kids and mothers how to implement these healthy habits and healthy foods into their kids' lives while having fun with it. And when I found out about her passing, obviously devastating and very upset because she really walked the walk and did everything she could. And it came to me and I was like, oh man, like I have this like, I'm just like this feeling of like, why am I here? Like what what am I meant to do here? Like she didn't make it and she did all this beautiful work. And not to say that I'm not, but I realized and I went in and I did the inner work and I was like, what is coming up for me right now? And it was like survivor's guilt. And I did a lot of work on that in my past, but it was coming up again. And I, as soon as I said, I see you, I honor you, it dissipated. And I was like, oh, it like lifted. Okay, great. excellent. And it helped me to even further step into what I meant to do. And it gave me like more like life force energy. And so I leave that with you to really just take a look at spiritual health as something that can improve not only your physical health, but your mental and emotional health. And again, in order to get to this next level, emotional mastery is part of it, emotional intelligence. If you cannot get a handle and a grip on your emotions, it's going to be a huge challenge here in this lifetime. So that's something that you really want to get a handle on. So I implore you to really just explore, be open, and be mindful, live an intentional life. And that's all part of it, right? That's what we do. That's the core messaging that we've created at Holistic Human Performance. It's what I do, it's what I teach about, it's what I speak about, it's what I help my clients, students, community members with. And I hope that, this inspires you to make your next move and really just take accountability of what's going on internally to change your external reality. So, couple of updates, announcements. We're in March right now. Number one, I have a bunch of programs that can help you with this. So, the Metaphysics of Your Health course goes into all this stuff. I have also, excuse me, where I'm at. Spring is coming. I'm so excited. This I'm going to be hosting a live stream on the spring equinox. It's going to be a spring equinox meditation on March 22nd at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be live, and you can catch the replay as well. But I'll leave all of that information in the description box. And we're going to go over what springtime means, what element it is, what emotions, what organs are connected to this, how to eat, how to like kind of cleanse those fat storages from the winter time. And then we're going to go into a meditation activation to help you really ignite that energy within. And then on March 24th, the following day, I'm going to be starting my masterclass series called The Spiritual School, which is all that we just spoke about. I'm going in deep into spirituality, the neuroscience of spirituality, how to implement it into your life, how to cleanse, ground, protect your energy, why that's important, what you're not being taught in this spiritual community, what spiritual bypassing is, how to train your spiritual muscle, why that's important, and so much more. So we're going to start that on March 24th. If you're a member, that's included. If you're not, I'll put, again, you'll have all that information. Just check it out in the description box. And I'm just so excited to take this journey along with you all. So I hope this information helps, and reach out, subscribe, like, share this with others, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.